family were killed. But that loss turned into my driving force, and as I say, it catapulted me into journalism. I knew then that I wanted to be in the middle of these seismic historical movements, these global events, but as a witness, as a storyteller, to explain that what seems far away will nonetheless affect you even here, as George Marshall said to his college graduates at Harvard in 1947. After graduating from the University of Rhode Island 27 years ago, I joined CNN in its infancy, and I joined a band of pioneers. We were all college graduates, just like you, fomenting a media revolution. We were implementing Ted Turner's unique vision for the first ever 24/7 network, for the first ever global network, and for the first ever truly global village. Like many of my friends, I started at the very bottom of the career ladder. I actually arrived in Atlanta, Georgia with $100, with a suitcase, and with my bicycle. I was assigned first to the foreign desk, the foreign assignment desk, because I was foreign. I climbed past the doubters and the naysayers, and I worked nights and came in weekends to practice and plow my way up to where I wanted to be. I wanted to be roaming the world. I wanted to be telling stories. I wanted to be taking risks. And I wanted to be having fun and doing it all on someone else's dime. And it was all so exhilarating. On the road over the last 2 decades, my friends, my colleagues, and I, we look at each other and we marvel at the sheer, heart-stopping significance of all that we were privileged to witness and all the stories we were fortunate to be able to tell. And at this point, I must say, another maybe cliche, but the advantage of cliches is that they happen to be true, and we only learn that when we go out and live them, that there is no such thing as effortless success. That mastering your craft is so important, and mastery only comes with hard work. And no matter how great an education you've had or what privileges life has afforded you so far, mastery, mission, purpose, those, I think, like for me, trying to do all that were my greatest motivators. And I believe, like they were for me, trying to achieve all that, that is the greatest satisfaction, not the simple accumulation of wealth. And right now, I passionately wish for all of you to find something that sets you on fire, that fills you with a joy and a love and a commitment. And I also hope that you'll be ready when your moral courage is called upon, and it will be. And here you might say that I'd cross-checked with President Fowles, that I had cross-checked with Dean Hammonds about the patron saint, apparently, of Harvard, former US Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, but I want to quote him on moral courage. When he went to South Africa, when Nelson Mandela was serving out what turned out to be a 28-year jail sentence simply for seeking justice for the majority there and justice for everybody, this is what Robert Kennedy said, that few men are willing to brave the disapproval of their fellows, the censure of their colleagues, and the wrath of their society. Moral courage, he said, is a rarer commodity than bravery in battle or great intelligence, and yet it is the one essential, vital quality for those who seek to change the world, which yields most painfully to change. And just as I discovered that journalism can really make a difference, you too can all make a difference in anything and everything that you choose. I know that you can all make your mark, and along the way, never be afraid of falling or failing. Or more to the point, never equate setbacks with failure, because you are all high achievers and you will all take risks. But it's how you deal with adversity and how you deal with disappointment that will define you. My friend, the celebrated Iranian photographer and artist Shirin Neshat, has said that the fundamental thing about the process of being an artist, you can insert there whatever you choose to do, is failure. You have to learn to accept that you are going to fail at times, that it is similarly important for your critics, your audience, and your peers to understand that this failure is part of growth, that there's nothing wrong with failure. you fail or you fall, and then you pick yourself up again. And it is that very process that counts in the end. So as I too get set to graduate from my alma mater, CNN, to move on to ABC News to take up this extraordinary challenge, I'm sure that we all of us graduates here today, share the same sense of excitement, the same sense of promise of a brave new adventure, the same shadow of fear, trepidation, anxiety, as we now hurl ourselves out of our comfort zones. But as I started by saying, whatever you decide to do well for yourselves, but also do good for your families, for your friends, for your communities, and for your countries, for our shared world. As you find your voice and your worldview, find the human face, find the social face of whatever endeavor it is you put your life to. And remember that it is, in the end, all about justice, not just us. And I'll tell you where I found that. It's a slogan printed on some napkins that I bought at a fair in Vermont, and that I'm constantly waving in the face of my long-suffering 10-year-old son. But think about it. Wherever I go in the world, people talk about justice, about dignity, and that is, in the end, that what really matters. So let's wish each of us, all together, each other, good luck, and vow never, ever to sit on the sidelines of life, ever. 100 years ago, the great American president, Theodore Roosevelt, went to Paris, and he spoke at the Sorbonne University to students just like you. I'm sure you all know this quote, but I'm going to say it again because I love it. I hope you do. He said that it's not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man and woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, and who strives valiantly, who errs and who comes up short again and again, who knows great enthusiasms, great devotions, and who spends himself, herself, in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he or she fails, at least fails while daring greatly, and so that his or her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I love those words. It's a call to action. I hope you do too, and I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy your life and your work and live in this moment, whatever it might be. Goodbye and good luck, and thank you for having me.